Hey everyone, welcome to my new segment of my YouTube channel. It is called Last Week in Photography, where I will be sharing with you the latest, or at least somewhat interesting, rumors, news, and camera updates. Let's get to it. Alright, so I have a few things I saw that stuck out to me that really I want to bring to all of you. As you know, during my live streams, I do have a small portion of my live stream where I dedicate to photography news, but here's a few clips that may have and may not have made that cut. So let's get to the first thing. Alright, Canon's latest lens patent is one of the weirdest designs, is what they're saying, that they've ever seen at Petapixel. What really stuck out to me about this is not that they're talking about another built-in teleconverter, which Nikon has done and Canon has done already in their lenses, but this is a more compact version to fit into more like a smaller camera, smaller lens than a large telephoto, because we've seen it in 800, we've seen it done in large telephoto lenses. So we can see here even Nikon at the 180 to 400 millimeter f4, they've done this before in the f mount, and as well as the 400 millimeter f2.8 and the Z 600 millimeter. So we've seen this technology implemented, but usually telephoto lenses, stuff for, you know, obviously wildlife, birding, or sports or something like that. But look, this one, it specifically, in the diagram, it shows a much smaller and shorter lens. So this is possibly for, as it says here, a 50 millimeter or 85 millimeter hybrid lens, something around that lines, maybe even a small or medium telephoto zoom, like a 24 to 70 could fit in there. What really stuck out to me is that they're bringing this technology, which I thought was very innovative, into smaller lenses. I love being able to have as much functionality with my lenses without having to add extra stuff, ergo a teleconverter, and I would love to see a drop-in filter section for smaller lenses, or at least prime lenses. That would be great, or at least a 24 to 70 and a 70 to 200. I would love a little drop-in ND. So I'm really happy to see that not only are we at a point where we're looking at a lot of internal upgrades in terms of the firmware and technology, but also the mechanical side of things. And I hope this bleeds into other areas. Again, as you can see here, going into smaller lenses. I want to know what you think about this. Post your comment down below. I think it's great news. As we know, during the past week, there has been two firmware updates. One is for the Nikon Z8 and one is for the Z9. Let's get to it. Right here for the Z8, we're updating it to version 1.01. This is not a major update, but it's an update that's important nonetheless. So here we have changed the timing of the high temperature warnings appearing when the camera's internal temperature increases, which actually happened to me during a wedding shoot recently down in San Jose. It was over 100 degrees out and that thing kicked on. So I'm interested to see this being implemented into my camera to help safeguard my photography. Next one is change the position where the memory card high temperature warning is displayed. Okay. I hope I don't have to see the display, but we'll see when that time comes where that changes. And here are some issues that they're fixing, which I really appreciate that they just released this camera and now they're looking for ways to better improve our user experience. First is the battery would draw down more quickly while the camera was off if on was selected for connect to smart device. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I like that. So in case you accidentally left it on, hopefully this will help it to not draw as much battery. Focus could still be adjusted using the focus ring when disabled. Was selected for A15 manual focus ring in AF mode, and in the custom settings menu if an option other than nonlinear was chosen. Okay, I like that. I don't use manual focus a whole lot, my personal self, but for those that do, maybe for video. This can be helpful for those. I don't use manual a whole lot with my Nikon gear, but I'm glad they're fixing that issue. And then this one here, we got the SB800 flash units would sometimes stop responding after pictures were taken with the flash disabled. Let's look at the other firmware update that Nikon offered us, and that's for the Z9. This one is Nikon Z9's firmware version 4.01, which we all know about, but I just want to re-mention this, okay? So here, the camera would, in rare occasions, stop processing to fail to record a video correctly if an attempt for video recording took place after the standby timer had expired, then reacted with frame size, frame rate set to 1920 by 1080. The other fix is the choose image area and switch from full frame to crop rolls assigned to camera controls were disabled when a slow motion video option was selected. Now that would be annoying. The first shot in burst photography would sometimes fail to acquire appropriate white balance when auto or natural light was selected for white balance. Okay, that can be annoying as well. Not totally unfixable, but if you're shooting JPEG and that ends up being the great shot, that can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But if you're shooting raw, you know, you could fix it, but it's definitely an annoying hassle to deal with. I'm glad they addressed that. And here we are. If shooting continued while on was selected for shooting mode menu, photo flicker reduction, the photo live view disable would be partially disrupted. So definitely not a good thing, especially when we're used to near, you know, black. We don't want any blackout when we're shooting with these high-end cameras. At least we're not used to it anymore, and otherwise we might as well go back to a mirrored camera. And so having fixed this, that's great. I'm glad they caught that. So as we can see here with the Nikon Z9 and the Z8 updates, it's really just minor, but yet hassle issues, or like issues that would hassle us on the in the streets or using our cameras. So I'm glad they're tackling this. They're on top of it. It seems like they're being responsive no matter how little or small the issue is, or maybe it's not like a mass issue, meaning it affects us all. We might not be using those features, but I'm glad they're tackling it, because these cameras are worth staying on top of and making sure that we have the best experience using these two cameras. Okay, Sony fanboys, I've got something for you. You may have already seen this, but you know what? I think you're going to like talking about it anyway. Let's get to it. Okay, so what we have here is new leaked high-resolution images of the new Sony 300mm f2.8 G Master lens. Okay, so here we are. Now, these are supposedly leaked images right here. Okay, you go check it out for yourself, SONYAlphaRumors.com. So what we see here is a new hood style with new hood locking mechanism, is what they're saying, different from the 400mm G Master and 600mm G Master. Same as the 400 G Master button layout, but with buttons in front of the tripod ring. But cool. So you have the switches here. I see switches. I'm not sure about buttons, but I see switches. Sony said in the press release that this lens will be the lightest lens in its class. Okay, at 300mm f2.8. Superb bokeh, superb resolution, of course, no doubt. Okay, so be sure, otherwise outside of that, that is basically all they have for that lens. Let me know what you think about this new lens. Is it for you? If so, what would you be using it for? And what do you think the price point would be for this lens? All right, let's get back to it. Now, if you're still shooting Micro Four Thirds, this is going to be great news for you. Panasonic LUMIX is set to release, supposedly, a new version of the Lumix G9. Let's get to these rumors. Let's check it out. Rumored Lumix G9 Mark II will get a huge autofocus upgrade. Yes, I love that camera. It's a great camera. It still is, and it was when it came out. It was really innovative at its time, and it actually had a lot of good video features on it. But for photographers rejoice, this 5-year-old Micro Four Thirds flagship has a rumored successor. All right, so let's see what it says. Of course, photography focused alternative to this video centric GH, you know, GH5, GH6, stuff like that. So of course, that's the way the G9 was placed in the first place, and it did a great job. Topping the potential G9II, new features list, of course, Panasonic's new hybrid autofocus system that offers the best in both worlds: snappy contrast detection, autofocus, and smooth phase detect. Now, the resolution could do with a boost. The G9's, the first G9 was only 20 megapixel, so I'm thinking it could do at least a 25 since the GH6 did, so why not? And that's what they're saying. They're saying it will be expected to be a good all-around speed shooter than the G9, benefiting from a lot of tech found in the GH6 that includes a more powerful processor. One of the wish lists is a stacked sensor like a Z9, which would virtually eliminate the effect of rolling shutter distortion when using the electronic shutter. This is a big deal for fast-paced wildlife and sports shooters. So I don't see why not. Again, being that it's 5 years old, they've had plenty of time to think about this upgrade and how to implement it. And so I think it's there. It's obviously available, so hopefully they put that in there. However, the sensor stack may be expensive, could push up the price of the G9, which is a camera that many would hope to be competitively priced. Originally, G9 shooters are asking for improved EVF, a bump in the viewfinder resolution, but more importantly, the G9 II is going to be Panasonic's best wildlife sports photography camera. Is a blackout-free view during continuous high-speed shooting. So that would be great. Now, here's the last bit of piece. Even as a photo-first camera, the G9 was no slouch for video, and we can expect the strong video spec in this camera, which it did. It did a phenomenal job at video as well. And the autofocus at that time was actually better than the GH5. So 5.7K video and 7.5 EV in-body image stabilization, which would be great for hand-holding, especially if you're doing wildlife, you need to capture something on the go. But everything is speculation, of course, and guess what? That means these are all rumors. That's why I got it from techradar.com, which is just talking about a rumor. But these are good signs. This photo right here might be a play on what it may look like, the camera body itself. And I'm excited because the Micro Four Thirds system, you know, it's not full frame. You're not going to get the same, you know, depth of field, etc. But it is a fun system to have. It's very reliable and it's lightweight. The lenses are lightweight. You get excellent lenses and they're a fraction of the size of your full frame competitors. Those are a few updates that happened last week. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please post them down below. I want to hear your thoughts. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, don't forget to press that like, that share, that subscribe, and yes, smash that bell icon to get notifications for my upcoming content. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting and stay creative.